What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and as I reported to you all in prior videos, Bryan Kohberger sat down with authorities and they questioned him for between 5 to 15 minutes before he ultimately decided that he was no longer answering any questions and he asked for a lawyer. But it has just been revealed that initially, Bryan was cooperating with law enforcement. Initially, Bryan waived his Miranda rights and he was answering questions. They even asked him if he knew anything about the situation that went down with the Idaho 4, and he said, of course, I live 10 miles down the road. I've heard of the situation. But then, after a couple of minutes of answering questions, he suddenly stopped. He grew quiet and he asked for a lawyer. What changed? I wonder what he was thinking initially and why he changed his mind. Now, of course, this may just be a tactic. I'm going to go in, I'm going to act like I'm okay answering questions, and then once I realize, even though he knew why he was there more than likely, then once I come to the realization, or once authorities reveal why I'm actually here in this interrogation room, then I'll ask for my lawyer. Because I don't understand why he was okay to initially talk and then he changed his mind so quickly. I wish I could have been in that room, because I want to know if there was a specific question that caused him to freeze up and suddenly grow quiet. I would like to know if there was a specific question. Because when Bryan got brought in, if Bryan really did this, then Bryan knew why he was there. But Bryan, for some reason, chose to talk at first, to cooperate at first, to answer questions at first, until some sort of question was asked that made him grow silent. What question was that? And can that be the key to what ultimately transpired here? Did they ask him about a connection to one of these victims? A connection that we don't know about yet? Initially, I thought that, hey, maybe this was just, I believe that Bryan was preparing to commit a crime. I was not convinced that Bryan targeted these people specifically. But as time goes on, and as we get just tad bits of information, it looks like there are some ties between at least one of the victims and Bryan, considering the fact that Bryan lived not too far away. And from the reports that it has not been verified by law enforcement, but the reports are coming in that Bryan's phone was pinged and that he was following them for weeks. We know Kaylee had a stalker. Maybe Bryan was that stalker. But all in all, the only new piece of information I have right now is that he was willing to cooperate at first. He was willing to answer questions until, I guess, maybe they asked the wrong question. And I know for a fact that they did talk to him about the Idaho 4, and he told them, of course I know about the case. I live nearby. So I guess that's a mystery that we may never know the answer to, but maybe one day it will be revealed. But for now, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think transpired here? In my mind, they either asked him a question that kind of froze him to the point where he didn't even know how to answer it. He just was like, okay, yeah, all right, let me go ahead and get a lawyer. Or this was just another one of his plans, another one of his tactics. If you get brought in and you immediately ask for a lawyer before answering anything, then that may, in some people's eyes, it may make you look bad. So he probably tried to go in there with the tactic of being confused, and then once authorities, because when they initially take you into the interrogation room, they don't always tell you what you're there for. They start asking you questions before it becomes clear as to what you're ultimately there for. So once authorities made it clear why they were questioning him, maybe that's when he went ahead and shut down, and maybe that was just one of his tactics. What do you think it is? Was it a question that froze him, or was this part of his plan all along? I think it's safe to say that Bryan had a lot of this planned. And I mean, if he was as smart as people say, then hopefully he had a plan for if he got caught. But let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. I'll be doing all types of uploads over here, notifying you about this case, and we'll be talking about other stories. So ring that notification bell, follow me on Twitter, and always remember one thing: remain opinionated.